Hey, with your boy Young J.
Hey, all day. Hey, knock it out, knock it out.
Yeah. Styling, no. Dissing, but got pictures with me smiling, no. All the things you need, you still want problems, though.
What up? Tell the people a little bit about yourself, who you are, because they probably like, who is Jay?
Oh yeah, I'm Jalen Sanders, 25 years old, Baltimore raised, over east, grew around Rod Raven. Currently work for the state's attorney's office in Baltimore City. I mean, I just got a vision for what I want to take my career in politics and what I want to do for the people.
So you work for the state's attorney. Wait, you said you work for the state's attorney's office. You're not gonna say nothing here that's gonna get you in no trouble.
Oh,
right?
no, I'm not.
Oh,
we not gonna say nothing that's gonna get you in some trouble,
I
right?
can say whatever y'all feel like.
Okay.
Okay. You sure? Did you get this approved? Did you have to get this approved?
Didn't have to get nothing approved. Go ahead.
Okay, because we not trying to be responsible.
I'll be asking you no questions after this, because you didn't. And look, you didn't even say you was drinking it or who was drinking it, but you just said it was being drank. So now you're about to check us out. Well, I'm just saying, if y'all listening, make sure y'all got somebody who's, worth listening to, because the show's dope, okay? Y'all definitely gonna love us too. Y'all gonna be like, oh, I see why Jay went there. Anyway, y'all, so today we are talking about the importance of changing your image depending on how far you are in your career. Do you think it's really important?
Yeah, to an extent it's important, because it's hard trying to be yourself and at the same time matching up to the expectation that somebody else has for you.
Right.
So it's kind of like, generically we're African American people, we have to whitewash ourselves. You go in the office, dreads up in the bun, hair straight, tucked back, you got the suit on, the blazer, like the pin skirt, you gotta be respectful. I can't come in there and just, yeah, what's up with y'all, how y'all doing today? Man, last night was crazy. It's a very difficult line that you gotta ride in order to show them who you are, and then who they expect you to be.
Right.
I agree with that. I do think in the corporate world, you do have to kind of whitewash yourself or downplay your personality to a certain extent because we come off aggressive or we come off, loud or whatever they may perceive it as that isn't a positive.
Right.
But I do feel like in what we do, I feel like you do have to reinvent yourself just to make sure that you're staying current with what's going on, so that your listeners aren't outgrowing you. You know what I mean? Because I feel like what we talk about is forever evolving. So if we get stuck in this one place and we don't evolve with it, then the people who are evolving with it, we're going to get left behind by them. So
here's the thing about that. Because we don't want to go back into, what we talked about last show, which was reinventing yourself, but it's totally different when it comes to completely reinventing yourself as opposed to only dealing with your image. You know what I'm saying? So as far as what we do, our image, the way that we feel about certain situations, we choose to whether we should share that or whether we should keep it in because we don't want people to look at us a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but
the way that we look.
Have a stance on it, though.
I disagree with you a little bit there. I feel like we are very open
we
with
don't do that. But this is my example,
Okay.
As far as how the image has, what part it takes place as far as the image is concerned.
Okay.
Let me just say, because y'all know on the best of both worlds, anything concerning GTR, 1500 radio period, you're going to get how we really feel. That's just it, okay? It's more than just the space. Our opinions are our opinions, but when I'm speaking of images, you do have some people on radio shows that are mainstream that won't say certain things about certain people that, or they'll even take back what they said. But back to the images. So, Slick, let's talk about how it would, relate to us, the way that we look. Both of us are tomboys, and we looked at it in the beginning like, okay, this is radio. People don't have to see us. We used to come into the station looking like work.
Looking like everything.
I used to wear these, y'all know the crown braids, like the Miss Sally's. I always had them because my natural hair is thick. So I always had, and my hair was long at that time before I cut it. What? I used to come in and look, if you go back in our post, y'all see these pictures.
I had a one.
She had
Well, my hair was
fresh cut.
I had a mohawk, but it was like cut like yours.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
my hair was short and it was like blonde. At some point it was all blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Then at another point when it started to go out, it was blonde at the tips and everything. But either way, we was super comfortable on the show. Like literally looked like work. And now, the more that this platinum grows, the more that we do more what? You changing your clothes after work, shorty.
You putting this wing on every day, sure?
Right.
Because I'm
Yeah,
sick of it.
cute. All of that is
I'm
part of
tired.
the image.
I'm tired.
I'm saying, what image do y'all feel like y'all gotta maintain though?
I really don't think that it's a specific image, but we really just need to be our best selves.
I mean,
At
Angela,
the time
you
that,
Club Huff every day.
but you know
said
what?
she be on what?
She
Her
looks
purpose
rough
is different.
every day.
Her purpose is different. She going for something different. You understand what I'm saying?
I
She's the only female on
Yeah.
that show.
I feel like she's comfortable with playing the background where it's just us two,
Mm-hmm.
and if one of us looks off, they're not going to take both of us.
Oh, that's
You understand? So we gotta always be on point, no matter. And it's getting to the point where we're like this, just walking around outside now. You know what I mean? Like normally we running outside, hair all over our heads, sweatpants, some slides, something like that. But
Flops and
now
socks.
we actually putting on clothes to run to got us to start working out. Us doing a photo shoot, and we was like, baby,
Yes, like, oh no,
whoa, that's not gonna work. Let's get it.
not these mommy bellies. Let's not. Not these mommy bellies.
My son way too old for this to be a mommy belly. I'm just lazy.
Yeah, mine is definitely.
So yeah, we just had to get it together.
Yeah,
Like,
so
basically.
but you have to relate on some point because what you want to do in life definitely doesn't allow you to just be this comfortable.
I mean,
right?
essentially with politics, like you look at Donald Trump, he looks terrible.
Bruh.
Overweight, suits be OD, no tailoring, ties be loose, hair
Toothpaste
be
don't
messed up.
match, right?
And you kind of recognize that like the better you look, the more people take you seriously. So you look at like Marilyn Mosby, for example. She's not sloppy. She's always well put together. Might have a slight makeup, has the hair done, has the pantsuits or the skirts or whatever. She presents herself as seriously as she wants to be taken. So even with me, I stay in the gym. I make sure my suits are tailored. I make sure my ties center to the middle. Whenever I have a business meeting, I come prepared because I mean we're essentially working in a white world. So they're not gonna take you seriously off rip. So if anything is off, well look at him sloppy. Oh, he don't have a lineup. His hair is not done. Who does he think he is?
Mm-hmm.
You already come in there with a half stacked hand. So
what about your haircut? That's acceptable?
no, I'm actually just roughing it, bro.
Oh.
It's been a long couple weeks, and then what I necessarily do in the office, I don't run into a lot of people, so I'm kind of in my own space. I can do that. But come time for an event or I'm going out or something like that, like yeah, I definitely get it together.
Yeah, because you don't look like you roughing it. You look like this how you wear your curly buds.
I was about to say I like the curly hair.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
But
it
you
don't
know,
look
in the
rough.
corporate world, they would.
No, niggas told me before, like, yo, you gotta, like, cut this down,
They didn't see you.
cut the hair off and
That's
stuff
the
like
basic
that.
They doing a big beard thing now.
A lot of these white men, yes, they are, but theirs are totally different than our black brothers.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
It's just because the fact our skin darker.
um,
Because some of them have like really full beards out
I
this
agree.
bitch.
But it's, so, historically, like, when you have men that grow out facial hair, it's kind of it's like a intimidation factor. Like, whenever, like, in the old Viking times, like, when they would go to wars and stuff, they would all grow their hair out, so they look like beasts.
right.
It's, like, intimidating. So if I come to a judge who happens to be white and stuff
I'm
like
listening
that,
to saying that now.
and I gotta cut this off because he's not times out of 10. If I'm going up against a white defense attorney or a white prosecutor, they're not gonna take me as seriously. Not them, but the judge is not gonna take me as seriously. Have to hear out what I had to say because of that intimidation. I'm hairy. I got my hair and everything grown out. It sounds dumb, but like essentially want you to look like a monkey. They want you to look like a shaved monkey. So they're like, oh, who's this little? Let me see what he got to say real quick. All right, I might take him somewhat seriously and like hold him accountable with his word. Because I know a pastor when I was growing up, when I first was applying to law school and stuff, he said, I'm gonna have a serious conversation with you. And he said when he first got hired on the firm, he prosecuted a famous case in Baltimore County where a black firefighter was falsely accused of rape by a white girl. And he said when he went in there, he knew the background history of the judge was like very prejudiced. He didn't like black attorneys. He wasn't with none of that, and he was looking to throw the book at the black dude. And he said the day before trial started, he had the 70s Revolution afro and the beard and all that. He was like, he shaved all of it off. He was like, he thought he looked silly as shit, but then they genuinely started paying attention to what he had to say. And years after he got acclimated to the legal environment, that's when he grew everything back out. And they was like, oh, you're not just another nigga for real.
Right.
You're Pastor P.M. Smith. Like, okay, well, not Pastor, but Attorney P.M. Smith. Like, okay, we know who you are despite how you look.
Right.
So you say you have to establish yourself first. You have to build your foundation in order to be you.
Yeah, because, I mean, even my line brother in medical school, before he went to interviews at each school, he can grow, he grows a lot of facial hair and stuff too. Clean shaven, like low one. You like a little ass kid. Like, you gotta go in there showing them like, hey, I'm not this intimidating black guy. You can trust me.
Right.
And then once you're in there, they be like, oh man, that's just Jalen, that's just Marius, that's just Ben and Fabian. We don't have nothing to worry about these guys. And it sucks because it's like, why do I have to downplay myself to make you feel comfortable around me?
Right. It really does suck because, I mean, all these years we've been taught not to judge a book by its cover. But we seriously have to think about our cover because we're going to be judged.
Our listeners are saying that it still seems like a sense of mental control that they hold over our culture. And, I mean, I completely agree with you, but like Jay is saying, we live in a white world, you know, so depending on what it is that you want to do, you are going to have to downplay yourself. And that's why a lot of us are becoming business owners because they tired of downplaying themselves, you know what I mean? And the guy that's saying that he is a business owner.
But I must say, and the truth of the matter is, even as a business owner, you still have to downplay yourself because, okay, every business has a start. You understand what I'm saying? When you get to the start, nobody wants to look at you like, oh, they're great at what they do. They're looking at it like, oh, they're a baby. Like, their business is a baby. They still have a lot of going to do. So nobody really wants to give you a chance.
But I feel,
they don't, what?
I feel like, because, you know, I got to always go back to my girl. Okay. Cardi, she was her from day one. You just had to go around her to recognize her gift and her talent. And I feel like that shit is possible.
But of course it's possible, but we had to get to know her, right? Somebody had to give her a chance for us to even get to know her. Somebody had to put her on Love and Hip Hop.
But she didn't downplay herself to get on there is what I'm saying.
No, but at some point, trust me, she has downplayed herself because if we go by what we're hearing about Cardi now, let's take into account that none of us knows exactly what her situation really is.
Right.
But
I'm just going based off of her interviews.
Yeah, but and of course she's not going to really come through and say, you know, 911, I need help in an interview. Because me personally, I'm not about to tell nobody what's really going on in my real life either. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. And what I'm about to say is, let's flip this around on her relationship. She has sold herself short in some type of way because she gives him credit for a lot of what her music is today. She has said out of her own mouth that she feels like if she wasn't with him, that her music would change. Her music,
I mean, is that?
her music would
they,
get bad.
They put her on with a lot of stuff.
And that I do understand, but isn't she selling herself short? Especially being though when she first got into the limelight, when she first started getting to where she wasn't with Offset. When she gave us her first banger, did he have anything to do with that?
No, but Kodak Black did.
But even still, it wasn't Offset, and she definitely.
I don't think it's her downplaying herself, but I think she just being, cause you have the demographic of women that love her, you have the demographic of people that don't really, you know, bang with her personality like that, but they like, all right, her music is cool, and then you have the ones in the middle like, I could go either way. It's not her downplaying herself, but she just keeping it real. That like, yo, she knows that if all these people weren't around her, it doesn't matter how good her energy is and how much she can play off because it's all marketing. It's all marketing for everything she does.
Right.
How she looks when she goes on TV, how stuff is released. It's all marketing. She's just keeping it a buck. That like she would be dust if it wasn't for a lot of the stuff that was going on around her, outside of how she took it and made it like her own.
I also look at it as, where Cardi is concerned, it's a lot of negative comments towards Offset because of, you know, the alleged rumors of him cheating or whatever the case may be. Right. You know what I mean? So in order for, I guess, people to not look at him as such a bad guy, she praises him when
Right.
she does talk about him, because most of the time people are coming to her with Offset either about this alleged baby or something like that. And so instead of focusing on the fact that he cheated and had a baby or whatever the case may have been in that situation, she focuses on the fact that she feels like he contributed in a positive way to her music.
Right.
So I think that may be more so what she's doing, just trying to counteract the
Diffuse it.
negative, the negativity that's behind his name where she's concerned.
How many kids you got up in her?
Well, he just had 2 kids parties back to back, and they looked like they was damn near the same age. So
Y'all
I don't know.
Y'all don't think she kind of like set herself up to be a BM?
I don't think that she set herself up to be a BM, only because she did get the ring before she got pregnant. So obviously he was trying to be serious. Now, is she gonna end up a BM? Can't say that. But I don't think she set herself up to be a BM.
Okay, now my opinion, on the other hand, I'm not gonna say she set herself up to be a baby mother. I'm gonna say she didn't mean to become a baby mother.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
she
his
definitely
thing.
said that shit today was an accident.
But I do
wasn't
feel
planned.
like their relationship,
boy.
getting to the level that it got so quickly, was a business move.
It's only been a year.
Their relationship was definitely a business move. Like I feel like if not on both ends, definitely on his end, because, I mean, out of all of his baby mothers, how many of them are popping like Cardi B?
Why would I don't know though.
I would have
Because-
shot her club up too.
But see, in my mind frame, if it's gonna be a business move, why wouldn't they give it to Quavo? Because Quavo like the main Offset.
oh, why wouldn't
I mean, the
they?
main nigga.
Because it
They
might
go
not
right for
it might
both of
not
them,
be
though, so it's like-
a business move
That's true too.
on the company or the
You think
the
like
top
whoever
umbrella
is
part.
representing
I
Offset
think
was like,
like
hey, yo,
Offset. I
go
think
fuck Cardi.
Yo,
first of
listen.
all, out of all of them,
Wow.
who's more so Cardi's type? Offset.
I don't know
She
who
like niggas
Cardi's
who
type
been out of
is.
jail. Like in real life, Offset is the real out of all of them.
'Cause I
he's
never
the
seen
one
her
who's more
niggas,
rah,
so
rah out of all of them.
I never
He's
seen
the
her
one
niggas,
who's
so I
more
don't know what she like.
aggressive, and he's the one who was
She
harder.
was dealing with a dude that was in jail for years.
That's why I'm like, so I don't know what his looks are like. So
I mean, it's
I'm
still jail,
thinking.
nigga.
We can't
But
go.
what I'm saying
we can't
is,
go
all of
based
them
off
niggas
the
got
looks.
locked up.
Yeah, but who's
So why wouldn't
who's
one of
rougher
them?
out of all of them? Who's
Takeoff.
harder to deal
So what
with?
you just said was like, who's dirty?
Takeoff
Who's
is more
dirty?
rougher.
You think like who's harder to deal with? We're
Yo,
talking about
yes.
in real life, yo.
I am too,
You
yo.
think
This nigga Takeoff don't even open his mouth, yo. Cardi would probably get a Takeoff fucking nerves.
I think out of all of them, Offset is the only one who's believable.
Yo, she funny
To
as
be
shit.
dealing with Cardi.
Yo, he only open his mouth. He'd be like, yo.
Like he's the only one who's really believable to be dealing with Cardi. I don't know if
I
it was
bet
a
that's
business
true.
move. I don't know if it was a
I would
business
think it was
move
more
on
business if it was
on
Quavo.
the terms of the companies that they deal with, or the business, and on their part, the bigger people's part. But I know on Offset's part, that was a business move,
So,
son.
let me ask you a
This
question.
baby
Y'all talking
mama
about her negative
equals
image.
business
You don't
move.
think she has a responsibility to like her younger fans that are women that like look up to her?
You know what?
She
Absolutely
specifically
not.
said that she does not want to be that
But
person.
just because you don't want to be a role model doesn't mean you aren't one.
But
It
if you
doesn't
didn't
matter.
sign up for this,
Right.
then what should you? First of all, when we met Cardi, she was rough Cardi. I wouldn't have my daughter looking up to her.
Period.
Her boobs was out. That was the first thing that you saw. She couldn't talk. Her teeth was all messed up, and she was rah in your face. All that. That's not what I want my daughter to be looking up to. So for real, when it comes to any of these celebrities, any of these artists, it's all about what the parent allows their child to look at. Don't expect me to be a role model and do things based off of what your child is going to be looking at.
So that's facts. That's facts. But then you have two sides to it. You have, because Cardi has a large woman base, and then like me personally, I think she drags it. I really don't like her, but her music and stuff be like okay from time to time.
Watch your mouth, Jay.
Listen,
Strike
I'm
one.
sorry. I'm gonna just keep it.
Strike-
I'm gonna keep it a
strike
buck.
one.
But you have the left side of people that, like you said, yo, I'm not gonna let my child like emulate her or look up to her as a role model. But then you had the other side to be like, oh, let her do what she want. Like she's living her. Like they're really amping that. Like yo, yeah. And that's what I aspire. It's kind of like you have a lot of women, working class women, that aspire to be like hood strippers that got rich.
I feel like I don't think working women aspire to be strippers who get rich. I think it's just that they see how fast it happens, and we working 9 to 5, and it should take us mad long. We'll end up quitting our jobs and going to be strippers though.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
But,
So,
but everything
That's why
has
I don't
its
think we're
cons.
aspiring. But yeah,
Not so much aspire, but it's like a cap for like a constant amp for that shit. Like, yeah, yo, wild out. I'm like, damn, if you hold her in such regards, why do you want her to wild out like that? Like you know how when she like Boy That Girl was popping, and then all the videos of her like stripping started like resurfacing and coming back out and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a mad what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a defending. It's kind of like, even though she said she don't want to be a role model, it's a defense of that behavior, and then putting her on that role model position regardless, and then getting mad when people be like, yo, but I don't want my daughter and them looking up to her. What the fuck is wrong with you?
How is she being put in a role model position because she is able to reach a large amount of people?
No,
because
it's because she has
I don't think rappers are role models.
Definitely not.
That's individualistic though. If you're speaking on the broad sense, a lot of people emulate and look up to shit that's not necessarily like what you would resonate with, what I would resonate with, what you would resonate with.
I just feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like the only rappers that people are looking up to are rappers who've been able to capitalize off of rap. Like Jay-Z, Diddy, stuff
so you don't think it's like they look up to people who can influence the culture?
I don't think anybody is looking up to like, who's a hot rapper right now?
Well,
one of these young niggas. I don't think anybody looking up to these young niggas.
I actually think that there's somebody looking up to everybody. And I think it's a lot of people that's looking up to these young rappers, especially bands though. A lot of them don't want to do what is actually hard or looks hard. They make it look easy. So yeah, they're looking up to them because like you said, they think it's going to come quick. But at the same time, who wants to aspire to be like a rapper who started off as a stripper? Like, that's just not somebody. Like, everything starts at home. You implant values into your children. That way they look up to people who are more like, you know, who you told them was a successful person. They're more like the person who you told them that they should become, because you plant that seed. Now, if you allow your child to attach to absolutely anything and you make them feel like that's okay, then they're going to be the children that look at what they see on TV and be like, oh, I want that. Because it's just like a commercial, a toy commercial.
Yep, a food commercial.
It's just, but you know, children like myself, you know, where we grew up watching a whole bunch of people flashing everything, but I never looked at the TV and be like, oh, you know what? I want to quit what I'm trying to do here and become that. I look at that like, oh, snap. I want to learn dance moves from this video.
Right, exactly.
But that's about it.
Yep.
That's about
like
it. I've always wanted to sing because that's what I do. But I never wanted to be Beyonce. You understand what I'm saying? I never wanted to be, you know, anybody else except Michelle. I never wanted to be somebody else. These days, people are not implanting the right values in their children. They're not putting that moral and respect for themselves into their children, which is why so many artists who are not role models for children and never signed up to be one are put in that category. Because why are you even dependent on rappers and singers and artists and people in the secular world to raise your kids?
Like, because that shit is real. Like, that is so real, and people really have to get out of that mind frame. Just because a person is in the spotlight does not mean that they're going to act the way that you want them to act, or that they have to.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we are here to influence our kids. That's your fucking fault.
Yes,
you feel me? And you're not about to sit here and tweet to Cardi B about how she need to change who she is because you rather have your kids watch TV than rape to them. That's your motherfucking fault.
That's facts. But then I'm gonna pose this question as well. While everything y'all said is true, so then why doesn't that same energy that's going towards like furthering their careers and supporting them and being like, yo, you do what you do, I'm gonna keep pushing the movement, why doesn't it go towards stuff that could genuinely help everybody, like in a city like Baltimore, or in a city like New York, or in a city like Chicago, initiatives like gun control, or like actually like showing up or making certain shit hot that's supposed to be hot because it can help everyone's lives, but instead it's like, oh no, we're just gonna kind of focus on the wild shit that's going on, or what's popping, or what's popular, or the music that we listening to. Why do you get such a big gap? Because when it comes time for niggas to do that extra shit, the extra shit don't happen.
You know why? In my opinion, it's because the delivery is wrong. You kind of got to meet people where they are. They're not going to understand you if you're not speaking their language. And a lot of people only understand that. They don't want to try to sit here and actually listen to what you're saying so I can break it down and try to understand it the way that you're trying to get me to understand it. So that's why people like you come in, Jay. Because you are us. You're the same generation, so you can also understand the other generation. So you have the best of both worlds. You understand enough to be able to kick it with us and come in here and be like, yo, this is what the fuck they talking about. This is what they saying. And that's why you want to do what you want to do. Am I right?
No, that's 100% facts. It gets hard after a while because we are living in our parents' world still. And our parents don't necessarily want to let go of they don't want to like pass it over to us. Like, be like, here, it's y'all time to shine now. So that's why you get because even with different stuff like the Congressional Black Caucus, when I would go out to like events in DC or like networking, it would be mad different older individuals like in politics and law, like Congress, Senate, like everything, and they want like a photo opportunity with me. They would like to have me on the front lines taking pictures with their signs, knocking on their doors, doing XYZ. When it comes time for me to get a job or like I need a letter of recommendation or I gotta pick up the phone or call them, I don't get no feedback. I can run all your missions and your errands for you and stuff like that. I can make you look good and use the power of my influence to make you look good. But when it comes time for me to use you for something, it's all quiet. I mean, that shit is phony for real.
It is phony, but you know what we gotta do? We gotta kind of find the glitch. Because once you find the glitch and you learn how to work them the way that they be thinking that they working you, then you only just taking what it is that you want. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
Make them think that it's their idea to give it to you, but really you taking it. Because they not smarter than us. They don't learn like we do. Like, you seen that movie Get Out?
Yeah.
The message in that movie was way deeper. Like, what did they want the black people for? So that they can have our abilities, so that they could run fast like us, so that they could think like us, so that they can move like us and do what we do. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, 100%.
Oh, sorry.
It was like straight.
About to have
She
all the
was
people.
going in. I was
But
listening.
because they realize that we are talented people, we are born with gifts, and not saying that they're not, but we move differently. You know what I'm saying? Our culture teaches us to do things differently.
Even though that's not what I believe, I could say, yo, I don't fuck with white people. But what happens? Nothing. Donald
Right.
Trump says, I don't fuck with white people. No, not I don't fuck with white people. I don't fuck with black people or Mexicans or Islamic people. Yo, now you got tariffs and laws being put in place to tax our money and to keep us out the country. Like, and they're doing a 2020 census, and one of the questions they added to the questionnaire. So, like, for those people who don't know, the census is just a general head count of everybody that lives in the United States. And with that, what they probably usually do is they'll send out a postcard in the mail and say, hey, so-and-so Jalen Sanders, how you doing? We heard that you live here. Can you fill out this questionnaire and then mail it back to us so we can know? And they're updating it so you can fill it out online and stuff too. But one question that they're adding to the census is, are you a U.S. citizen or not? And by doing that, you're already scaring the thousands of dreamers, the illegal immigrants that already live there, and they're like, shit, he's already been looking for us to deport us and kick us out this country. Now you're going to give a skewed census because people are going to see that question, then they're going to throw the whole thing away because they don't want to jeopardize their families, even if they were legally born here. So it's just a difference between, like, I feel as though within our community, we have to keep it a buck with each other and be like, yo, I don't like you, but I see what you're doing is bigger than you. So the same way, like, I don't like Cardi B per se, but I'm like, what she's doing is bigger than what my opinions of how I feel about her behavior and stuff like that. She's putting on, she got to do what she has to do. But if we take it and we put it in the mainstream culture in the white person's world, we have to be careful who we put in positions of power, who we're actually capping for. Like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton didn't like black people. He was one of the people that furthered privatization of prisons, which have some of the worst conditions ever. If you have any family members in jail, I got a couple family members in jail. Worst conditions ever. The guards don't treat the inmates with respect. Recidivism rates are extremely high. That means that recidivism is when they get out of jail, 9 times out of 10 they're going back faster than when they got in. So it's just overall, man, you just have to keep it a buck with whoever you interact with. Respectfully, of course, because you can't really just, I mean, you can, but you can't just be like, I don't fuck with you. But keep it respectful, be yourself, and enjoy it. Yeah. And you got to accept it. If you say I don't like you, you got to be ready for whatever that person has coming back to you.
Especially if you don't have no reasons.
Right.
Because, you know, people don't think they need reasons these days.
Oh, no, you damn sure need a reason for everything you do.
I was about to say.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you're in here kicking it with us and spitting this good knowledge. We're going to go into a little break. And when we get back, we're going to give y'all some advice of the day. And we're going to dig more into Jay. I just wanted to make it rhyme.
That was tough.
Okay.
Top 5
Y'all know y'all kicking it
with
with GTR presents the best of both worlds on 1500 Radio.
Hey, with your boy Young Jay.
Hey, all day. Hey, knock it out.
Y'all already know y'all kicking it with the best of both worlds on 1500 Radio. Now I'm about to give y'all a little advice of the day. And y'all know most times the advice of the day match the topic of the day.
Thanks.
So this one is definitely something that most of y'all don't even acknowledge, but you need to dress for the part that you're coming in for. Okay? If you're
Facts.
trying to be the manager, you need to dress and look like you do more than what's in your job description. Because most managers do. If you're trying to be the mayor, you need to come in dressed like you want to be the mayor. Don't come in looking like you just came from down the street chilling with Pookie and them.
Not Pookie now.
Because y'all was smoking. Don't come smelling like grass and all that good stuff. Dress for the part that you come in and trying to get. All right, that's the advice of the day.
I love it.
I do too, because your boy Jay, if nobody else can tell you, you gotta do that shit.
Okay.
You definitely gotta do
But you know what?
shit.
I even like his dress down. His dress down is still put together. I know that you had the pants with the shoe. I was like, okay, I see you doing it with a He's business casual.
Hey, yo.
You know, because most people with money gonna look at your shoes first. So he made sure he had on a nice pair of shoes, but his giddy up was still all him. It
like
gave
it.
you his personality, so you know that it's like, all right, I'm here for business, but I can kick it with you. I can
like
relax. I definitely love it because it's the first thing that you see is your image.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, shout out to say True Monday Management, man. Like he was telling me, I had to be able to still relate to people, cause it's hard. Cause like when you start like climbing up the ladder, you lose sense of who you are a little bit. You kind of start to become uppity.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, damn, I don't really do that no more. You won't catch me here. You won't catch me there. But at the end of the day, the people at the bottom are the ones that you have to cater to and get the message to, because those are the ones that are going to do the work. The people that are sitting at the table with you eating are going to be like, I mean, I'm full.
Right.
Why should I help you?
Right.
It's the people that are below you, not necessarily below you, but not at the social tier that you're at, that have to help you. So you have to find the middle ground where it's like, yo, I'm cooling, but at the same time, all right, I'm handling business.
Right, so at the same time, don't let them come up and sit at the same table as you.
No. You definitely you make room at the table. Everybody has to eat.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes, people might not go to the same schools as you. They might not pursue higher education. It's different factors in people's lives that keep them from getting to where like they either want to be or where they're supposed to be. But you should try your best as a leader to enhance their quality of life as much as you can. So if you're not sitting in a 500-acre piece of land with a mansion and all that stuff, all right, I'm gonna make sure you still got a cool single-family home with a dog out front, a white picket fence or something. Your car's a 2015.
Right.
So you can put them on the team, but they ain't gotta be all in your personal.
Yeah, I mean you can put them on a team, and you at the end of the day you can bring a horse to the pond, but you can't make them drink.
I definitely dig it. So let's get into a little more of you, because it's not often that you meet, and you hear me like meet. It's not often that you meet a guy at your age, especially being bred from Baltimore, that wants to do anything concerning politics. Okay,
Right.
They don't even really understand politics for the most part because it's way too much to try to dissect. I don't want nothing to do with it. I hate the shit that I do understand. So what made you even want to do politics? Like, tell us first of all, where did you start off at?
So I grew up around York Road, Northern Parkway, Lock Raven. I went to Chicopee for middle school, Poly for high school, UMBC for college, and now before I applied to the University of Baltimore Law School, I'm at the University of Maryland University College for my master's in criminal justice and legal services.
I know that's right.
So-
Go off. Okay, go off. Shit.
So growing up, I had like a lot of friends. Some of them was like like the nerds. Then you had some hood niggas. Some of them was blooded. A couple of them was like in and out juvie, then baby bookings, jail and shit like that. So I kind of got a nice cultured, tailored mix of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a 2-parent household. My mom's side of the family is military. My father's side of the family is more so like blue collar, like upper like middle white collar class jobs, like government jobs and stuff like that. He was a parole and probations officer, and my mom's was she is now leading director of human resources and compensations and benefits at UMBC.
Okay, dude.
So
Okay, dude.
while they let me explore and like have my freedom and stuff, it was always like, all right, little nigga,
Right.
you can't. And I used to get so mad. Cause I couldn't hang out I couldn't chill with my mans and them past dark. I might be down the street and all you hear my father yell out, Jalen, like from all the way up the block. And niggas used to make fun of it, be like, yeah, you gotta go home, yo.
You hear your father call?
And I'm sitting in the house mad. Like, you ever seen a Squidward meme when he looking out the window and it's like 10 o'clock at night, you hear everybody having it up, and I'm in the house, but
Shit.
No, that's respectable.
I really wanted to be like,
Yeah,
shit,
they
at
set
least my
the
phone
bar.
here.
Right, exactly.
Me.
They set the bar. They made it so that you couldn't be lazy with life, even though you had your fun and you was able to experience. You know what they did? They gave you the book smarts, and your friends gave you the street smarts. So now you're able to relate on both levels, because you know it's really important to have both.
I definitely think your parents help you build a foundation,
Mhm.
regardless of where you go. This is where you are, and you're never going to drop below that because that's what your parents have embedded in you. And we got the same kind of thing for real. So we
Yeah,
feel that.
you hate it, but you gotta respect
Right.
it, you gotta love it, and you gotta appreciate it. Because when you look at somebody without it, you be like, damn, you fucked up.
Right. Look, where the lie? Where's the lie?
It ain't no
Be like, damn,
Dang.
shit. I'm glad. I guess I am glad my parents
Heck yeah.
was strict and gave a fuck like that. Cause
Crack that whip. And that's the type of parent that you gotta be. So when was it that you felt like you was to the point where you was just like, okay, I need to do something to change this city?
Honestly, it came around the time when I was in UMBC and I was applying to like internships and stuff like that, and it just wasn't hitting me as to why I wasn't like getting the positions, or like why I wasn't getting selected for certain programs and things like that. I'm like, okay, I'm going into interviews and I'm killing them.
Mm-hmm.
I got XYZ service and then like organizations on my resume and stuff. What's going on with that? And I think the biggest thing that happened was, I think it was my senior year. No, was it senior year? When all this stuff with Freddie Gray started popping up, that was like 2014, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my senior year in college. And I just saw the response the city had to that, because at that point it was foreign to me. I didn't know. I'm like, well, man, niggas get hit up by the boys all the time. Right. I done been in a house party, and I'm sitting, like, they got us all lined up on the floor, and they like, yo, put your hands behind your back, bitch. Like, niggas, they're wilding us out. And I'm just like, I mean, it's normal. Like, where's all this outrage coming from someone getting killed? And that coupled with, like, my family members that were dealing with, like, being in and out of jail and stuff like that, and just an overall sense of wanting to help the community while I was at UMBC, I started connecting the dots, and I was like, well, all right, I like helping people. And that's just a far cry away from being able to help everyone. Mm-hmm. And law is what affects everyone. It affects why y'all able to do this radio show without having to be censored. It affects how he can purchase the camera at the price he can. It affects why certain businesses in certain times and hours are closed and open. I'm like, oh, all this stuff is interconnected. And I'm like, legal, politics, and policy isn't anything but just one big community service project. How can we help everyone? And that's why when people think about it, they like, oh, the complex terms and laws and everything like that, and terminology, they like, oh, but you gotta go to school for this. No, I mean, to put it on the simplest level, it's one big community service project. It's just what rules are put in place to make sure that the guy that has $100,000 salary is still on the equal playing field with the guy that's making $20 an hour at the warehouse.
Right. I definitely dig it. So where did you start? Like, what was the first thing that you did that started to implement, the change that you wanted to see?
So I was in college, and we had this organization called the Black Student Union. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first got there, I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm from this city, I'm gonna just go to class, which I barely did. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna just run back down to the Ave, like, every chance I get, just go play video games with my friends, extracurricular activities, different stuff like that. And they had an orientation one time, and some of the older people came there. It was like Bakari, Chitty, like Juan, Damon, Kev, Anthony, and they all sat us down. And these are dudes that are like in their mid-20s, and I'm still 18. They were just telling us like, yo, get it together. You're now a different quality of man now that you're here. You have a lot more social responsibility riding on your plate now. And they was like, well, join the organization. And I was like, well, I can't join the organization because my GPA was like a 2.1. And they was like, well, what's your problem? What you been doing? And I'm like, shit, I don't know. I just wasn't going to class enough. I was just having fun. And then that coupled with me hanging out with my friends Prosper and Marius and just watching their behavior and mannerisms, I said, okay, I can either be a basic nigga or I can rise to the occasion. So I was like, I'm going to rise to the occasion. And then when I saw a change inside myself that I hadn't saw before, I was like, okay, it's like a drug to me. How can I keep doing this and just keep cooking and keep loving it up?
Right. I definitely,
like
me too, because it's like when you get that moment where you're like, you know what, there's something that I'm supposed to be doing that's bigger than me, and then you actually do it without letting it change you is what I admire about you, because I really do feel like I'm sitting here in front of Jay. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm sitting here in front of Jalen, not a politician. Not somebody who, is going to really dissect and, put things together like politicians would. I feel like I'm sitting here with my homie.
I mean, it's other people, I've noticed it, because, like, going through different educational institutions and, like, the higher up you go, like, that snobby and that, like, stuck-up aspect, and that, like, I'm too good for this stuff, it gets worse and worse the higher to the top you get. Mm-hmm. Like, boy, you just started being able to afford a bottle of water. You gotta go to the sink and drink out that. What's wrong with you? And people treat stuff, it's kind of like you see, how I was saying earlier, how you see how they treat it like a photo opportunity. How they treat it like a photo opportunity. You slowly start to see our peers become the politicians that are there now. Like, oh, let's just get this flick. Oh, had the pleasure of meeting X, Y, and Z person, X, Y, da. But they start to distance themselves from the reason that they were doing it in the first place. Like, community service stops becoming something that drives you, and it starts just becoming, all right, this is quick, bomb, photo op. Right. All right, I'm out after an hour. I don't really want to have no connection or no establishment with the kids, anything like that. You never know how you can alter.
So how is it that you plan to be different?
A couple ways. While I am still trying to find a center of balance, because I'm a little wild still. I don't know when the appropriate times and moments is to say certain things or not to do certain stuff. Okay. I'm slowly trying to find the medium where it's like, even though I might be busy all the time, I'm still just one phone call away. Like, one of the guys that I mentored in college named Tashawn, he still hit me up. He said, yo, when are you and Marius free to link for lunch? And my schedule, I work 40 hours a week. I'm a full-time master's student, and I'm taking an outside class every other day and test every other Saturday through UB. And I'm doing stuff like this and community service on top of that. But I'm like, yo, I hit my calendar up, weekend of the 27th. I got you. We out loud. We gonna go treat you to food. We just gonna hang out. So it's bigger than you. I'd rather lose sleep helping somebody than get a full night's rest and just have like a title or like a plaque behind my name.
Right, without actually putting the work in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely dig that, and I admire that about you. So what is it that you feel like you can do, or that there is more needed in our children? Because that's really the most important part of our community right now.
Honestly, we have to, like you said earlier, and it reminded me of a lot, we have to meet them on a level that they understand. The cell phone is a level that everybody understands. The Twitter, Gram, YouTube, everything. I have to present it to you in a format in which you want to consume it. I have to make it simple enough to where, like, okay, I understand what he's saying. I'm just not zoned out because he done dropped like 6 or 7 terms and didn't explain himself. Mm-hmm. And then you just have to pay it forward. Everything you do, you're not going to get paid for it. You're probably going to do more stuff that you don't get paid for than stuff that you do get paid for. You have to constantly remind yourself that you're a role model. So while you on the gram living your best life, you got to understand that a little kid might want to live their best life too. So should I holler at them and put them on game, or should I just let them go to the wayside? And it's also, it's just being kind. Like that's it. At the end of the day, it's easier for you to be kind to somebody than it is to be mean and withhold something from them. So like, oh, I didn't like so and so back in the day, so I see that they're applying to my job with my company. I'm gonna just be like, nah, fuck them, don't do that. Mm-hmm. It's easier to let them in and see how you treated them with kindness and let it work itself out than you try to invest energy and time and thoughts and just vibes in general being negative towards somebody else. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you emulate it naturally, you cause other people to want to do it, and you pay it forward, yo.
So what position is it that you're going for?
So I want to be a criminal prosecutor for the state's attorney's office in Baltimore City. Then I want to campaign to be the first African American attorney general for the state of Maryland. And then from there, I mean, I gotta, keep those moves low, but like, man, I'm going for the top.
Yeah,
I hope to run for president of the United States one day.
Yes, we can see
you going all the way there.
Obama. Look, man, yes.
Listen,
and I'm I
like this guy.
Yes.
Some people don't think like to the masses. You know what I mean? It's like they'll take mayor or governor, something like that. But your mind even going to president as an adult. Because, as kids, we always want to be the president.
No, I mean,
but as an adult, really feeling like it's something that you can end up doing, like, that's awesome.
I asked myself, I said, cause me, I'm all about like just growth and progression. I said, is it gonna end at attorney general? Like, is that the best I can do? I said, what's the max I could possibly do in my field? And I was like, well, yeah, I could be the president.
Yeah, because it's literally like a chessboard.
It's a power move, it's a chessboard, it's a network, and then it's all about money though. So the biggest element of it is money. But I think I have a creative way, you know, to help me get that financially. I don't want to keep relying on like hounding people for yo, donate to my campaign, because I want to give you something the same way you're giving me something.
Right.
So if you're giving me $25 to $100 for my campaign, I'm giving you a possible job, or I'm putting you in a room of people that could get you to where you want to go.
So one of our listeners said you got that.
Yes, definitely, as long as you keep the same mindset that you have. So how is it that you're going to make sure that you keep the same mindset? Because believe it or not, some people who lose themselves don't get into it to lose themselves, and they don't expect to lose themselves, nor do they acknowledge when they lose themselves. It just happens.
Too late. Yeah.
No, I mean, I keep a strong team around me that lets me know, Jay, you're wilding. Like, yo, you bugging right now. Nigga can call my phone up and be like, you're tripping. Or I'll sit there, and it's not even just my homeboys. It's my homegirls too. Like, I have a strong group of core friends, Brianna, Sierra, like a lot of different people. Georgina, Candace, like I have women in my life that hold me accountable for what it is that I say out my mouth, or what it is I believe, and they provide another side of it. Because we live in a very aggressive male-dominant world, and it's a very skewed point of view. So if anything goes against that, I'm automatically like, man, well, that shit is wrong. Like, what are you talking about? Because I'm used to it, but remaining well-rounded like that, and then also, I really don't care about money. Like, there's been times where I've had less than $10 to start the game, so money is not about 10 probably why they lose sight of what they do. That's why you got corrupt government leaders. That's why you have Baltimore City being underfunded in different things, but apparently you're getting all this money to do things in other areas. That's because people get greedy. You start getting a taste of that. I mean, that shit don't matter to me. It really, like, money really doesn't mean anything to me.
Word. So would you say, this is going to be my last question, would you say that you're one of those people who will see something's wrong in the system and go try to fix it, or see something's wrong in the system and if you can't fix it, act like you didn't see it?
I have a problem. If I see that it's a problem, I immediately want to act on it and immediately fix it, but I'm slowly realizing that I have to be patient, because a fool is considered a wise man if he holds his tongue. You have to wait for the right opportunity to do everything. I'm never going to forget that problem, and I'm going to always admit that it's a problem. I just have to make sure that, okay, this is the right time for me to do this versus me pounce on it. Because if I hop on the problem at the wrong time, I could make it so much bigger than what it would have been had I just waited till I had the authority over it.
Right, I definitely think that. Keep that mind state.
Man,
keep
our
your
listeners
vibe.
are feeling
Keep everything about you. I'm glad
they all on
keep
here.
them in check, okay?
They think you're a good candidate. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming through to kick it with us, and we hope to have you back again, because I really do feel like you're going to do something amazing with our city.
Yes.
It's been so many years since we had something as simple, and I was just talking to Slick about this, and we met up with Nina B. Shout out to Nina B. But we were just sitting and talking to Nina B about how they don't give us the golden rule no more. They don't really give us the stuff that they gave us when we was children that fed our souls positivity. We don't feed that same thing to our children. We actually overlook them more than a little bit because we feel like it's their parents' responsibility, but it really takes a village. And I feel like I get that from you, that you're with the village. You're with being part of the village.
Most definitely. Shameless plug real quick to anybody that's listening. It's 21 and over. Sunday, May 6th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. There's a young professional mixer at Club Baltimore City, like hosted through Maryland Mosby and the State's Attorney's Office. And when I got on the committee, they were saying, Jay, we want you to bring out more like people around your age to, like, you know, come there with your business cards, come there ready to network, like come dressed formally and stuff like that, to get as many people out there as possible. And we're also catering to Baltimore. We're not sectioning it off to just Baltimore, so, you know, you might have a little bit of DC, Virginia, PG, but, like, yo, everybody, come out. If you want the information, you can find it on my page. Like, come out. I want to give you something for your time versus just telling you, like, all right, here's what you need to do. Like, I want to give you something. If you want to learn, you can learn. If not, I can't say I never gave you the opportunity.
Right. Because, like you said, you can lead the horse to water, but you cannot make them drink.
Oh.
Well, if you're paying attention to the time, unfortunately, it is time for us to go.
Wah, wah, wah.
Tell her where you're gonna be, Slick.
Well, y'all know where y'all can find the kid. I'm on all social media as Slick C, and put some respect on my C. It's a C-I-E, not just a letter, and that's where I be at.
Okay. Where you at, Jay?
You can find me on IG at the Original Made Man, TheOringinalMademan, the Original Made Man.
You got it. If you know how to spell, you know how to spell it.
Yes, because all of his words are spelled properly.
Now, I was on the previous interview, but I
he-
could not spell
Look,
it.
I couldn't even keep up with you, so let me just make your disclaimer. Even if he just spelled it wrong,
'Cause I think he did.
spell all of your words right.
I'm gonna get better with it as time goes on.
Yes, you got practice, so it's okay.
Spell all of your words right because it is all spelled properly. And y'all already know where to find us in the umbrella at 1500 Radio. And y'all know who it is. It's your girl Shannon Crystal. And y'all know where to find me at because I be everywhere. And you ain't never there. But you can find me on Instagram or whatever at It's Shannon Crystal. Yes, it is 2 S's back to back. You can find us on Instagram at Girl Talk Radio DMV. You can find us on Instagram at 1500 Radio. You can find us on Facebook at Girl Talk Radio DMV, and that is our group. If you're trying to get in, make sure you answer those 3 questions, because otherwise your ass is getting denied immediately. It's a promise, not a threat. Definitely a promise. And shout out to your girl B Penny, because today is her birthday.
Yes,
Happy
happy birthday.
Shout out to Team Aries, because y'all know my birthday on Saturday. I'm crip walking already. Don't be afraid. 'Cause the girls
14 babies rock.
You
or whatever.
already knew. Y'all know where to find us. Same place, same time on Thursday. And until then, y'all also know what to do.
Spread good vibes.
Baby, it's GTR presents the best of both worlds on 1500 Radio. Ow.
Yeah. Styling, no. Dissing, but got pictures with me smiling, no. All the things you need, you still want problems, though.